Every time I walk somewhere, I walk just like I'm blind. I'm late when I get there. I've lost all track of time. Won't somebody help me now and tell me what this is all about? And somebody explain this feeling that makes me want to shout. Come on, how about this feeling now? You're just in love. What did you say? It's alright. You're just in love. One more time now. Every time I see someone, they just stop and stare. I guess they think I'm crazy, but I don't really care. I don't know where I'm going now, or where in the world I'll be in. Somebody's got to tell me what kind of shape I'm in. Church bells are ringing. It's alright. You're just in love. Alright. It's alright. Alright. It's alright. Alright. It's alright. You're just in love. Oh, what a funny feeling now. It's alright. You're just in love. One more time now. It's alright. You're just in love. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. You're just in love. It's alright, you're just in love. It's alright, you're just in love.
Professor John Hook here, inviting you to join me for the Beach Music Class Reunion. Some people call it the history of beach music. So people ask, do you play it sequentially, Fessa Hook? No, I play it emotionally. It's a guy thing. Every Thursday afternoon from 1 to 5 p.m. on The Boss, your beach, oldies, and sports station. Professor John Hook here, and you're listening to The Boss, WOHS in Shelby, WLON in Lincolnton, your beach, oldies, and sports station.
And W268CU, Shelby.
Where are you eating breakfast today? Have you tried the Hub Cafe located inside Medical Arts Pharmacy? The Hub opens at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. on Saturday, serving an old-fashioned country breakfast at affordable prices. You'll find homemade biscuits, bacon, country sausage, country ham, liver mush, eggs, omelets, all cooked to order on the grill. Call 487-0511 or come on into the Hub Cafe for a delicious country breakfast located inside Medical Arts Pharmacy, 108 Grover Street, Shelby.
The new year brings new big savings from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Get up to $9,000 in total value on the new 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with SLT Premium Plus package. Plus drive away in a new 2017 Buick Envision. Now it's $7,500 below MSRP. And the new 2018 Kia Stinger has arrived at only $299 per month for a 36-month lease. And get the 2018 Honda Fit for $169 a month for 36 months. See Ronaldo for all the details. Ronaldo Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RonaldoAutomall.com. Save the date, Saturday, February 3rd, for the Home, Garden, and Lifestyle Show to benefit Habitat for Humanity for Cleveland County. Again, Saturday, February 3rd from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. at the LeGrand Center in Shelby. There will be special presentations and workshops. Visit the website for the complete schedule at HabitatForHumanityCC.com.
Professor John Hook here, inviting you to join me and the Beach Music Class Reunion each and every Thursday afternoon from 1 to 5 p.m. on The Boss, your beach and sports station.
Heart and soul, I fell in love with you. Heart and soul, the way a fool would do badly, because you held me tight. Held me tight, 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 and stole a kiss, stole a care in the night. Heart and soul.
Game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
NASCAR's America's Tailgate Party, Friday mornings at 10 a.m. from the Motor Racing Network and right here at Big O Country, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia. Looking for the best deal on a new RV? Join Campers Inn of Kings Mountain at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th through 21st at the Park Expo and Conference Center. We're offering incredible savings on top brands and motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels like Coachman, Columbus, Stryker, Puma, and more. Start the new year off with a bang by finding your dream RV. Don't miss out. These deals are only available at the show. Visit Campers Inn RV, the RVer's trusted resource, at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th to 21st. Go online at campersinn.com.
Hey, you don't have to be a member of the Cherryville Golf and Country Club to come out and eat. Everyone is welcome. Try their famous Sunday buffet from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. And they're open for dinner each and every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night from 5 p.m. until. And ask about their chicken on the run on Sundays. Get a whole chicken and 2 sides for only $14.50. Place your order by calling 704-435-6597 for your chicken on the run. Voted the best chicken in Cherryville at the Cherryville Golf and Country Club off Roy Acre Road in Cherryville.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Go with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTC Broadcasting.com.
The tradition.
Every day I get to put those 4 letters across my chest.
The Blue Devils have scaled basketball's tallest mountain for the 5th time.
With passion.
Holds up for the 3. Got it!
All that matters is winning games. That's what Duke is built on.
Give it go. And he dunks it home.
This is Duke basketball.
We don't make some noise this year.
Look away for the 2-hand check. Comes free from 3 and buries it dead on.
Follow the Blue Devils all season long on your home for Duke basketball. The Blue Devil IMG Sports Network.
When Auto Owners Insurance was founded in 1916, the world was quite different. Yet with all that's changed, our to be there when you need us most hasn't. By teaming up with independent agents, we've made a difference for generations of customers, and will for generations to come. And by making a difference every day, 100 years seem to go by in a flash.
Your local Auto Owners Insurance Agency is Mooney Insurance Agency, located at 528 East Main Street in Maiden. Call 828-428-8231.
Who knows? All right, let's get into some of these scores.
Well, now all these people are out here going, well, who is it?
Oh, I didn't tell you, did I? It's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron.
Oh.
Discount double check. You would have never guessed I was about to say Aaron Rodgers, did you?
No way.
Aaron Rodgers, who was dating an actress, is now dating Danica Patrick.
Well, you know, maybe he wants to pick up some speed. I don't know.
I don't know. When did he have time? When did they have time to meet up and start dating? I don't know.
Well, we've gotten off to a thrilling start.
I bet Terry didn't think after he ate his. What'd you have this morning for Mitchum's
I
Kitchen,
had
Terry?
liver mush and bologna on a bun with some mayo.
Liver mush, bologna on a bun with some mayo. I had that is about as thick as it gets, isn't it?
It was thick. It was.
Smoky sausage biscuit.
Yep, as usual.
I had egg and cheese this morning and my bottle of water and getting ready. Let's talk a little bit about last night. Smoke. Let's start over with you guys over in the South Fork 2A. You had Maiden at Lincoln over at Lincoln High School. Yourself and who was with you last night?
Tim Johnson.
Tim Johnson was with you last night. You and Tim had the broadcast over there. Sorry, I couldn't quite remember. I was over at Bessemer broadcasting that game with actually Milton and Danny were broadcasting it, and I was running the computers and wires and cameras, and JP can tell you about everything. Smoke is just sometimes when something goes wrong, it just one thing after another for a few minutes, and then we got it back going. Good game. Good night of basketball over at Bessemer City girls and boys games. All right, Smoke, let's talk a little bit about Maiden and Lincoln over there.
Well, first off, Maiden, the girls team, lost their first conference game. Lincoln got a pretty big upset over Maiden. They took care of business. They beat around 20 points, I believe.
63-45.
Yeah. So it was a blowout throughout the whole way, basically. And Maiden back in, but The boys' game, it was looking like it was going to be a blowout within that first 3 to 4 minutes. Lincolnton got out to a 12-0 lead. I think they led as much as 18-5 over Maiden about midway through the first, but by the end of the first quarter, Maiden took back the lead. And then the race was on between the two teams. They were trading leads back and forth. I'd say there was about 9 or 10 lead changes at least in the game last night. But Maiden kind of, I think, in my opinion, showed a recipe to possibly take down Lincolnton. It's easier said than done, but with a team like Maiden, I think they can get it done. They got the Little Johns in foul trouble early, which forced them not to be as aggressive on defense. And they got a big win. Lincolnton was able to pull out the victory in the second half thanks to Chris Robinson. And another big night from Robbie Cowie, and Cordell Littlejohn had a good second half showing after being quiet in the first half. But, I mean, I was trying to remember Painter, I believe is his last name, or Poulter. I think it's Cody or Colby Poulter. Off the bench for Maiden had 20 points for the Blue Devils.
Oh, that's great. I mean, you got to have somebody that's coming off your bench to produce.
Mm-hmm.
So your recipe for success was getting 20 from somebody.
Well, or getting a little.
It's not. I mean, you have to. I mean, if you've got bench scoring, that's only a plus. And if you got somebody coming in and scoring 20 points, you're going to be in a lot of games.
Well, and also this is the first time I've seen Jamal Littlejohn be outmanned by someone in last night's game. It's he was getting frustrated. He got fouled out. It was because of Poulter. He came off the bench after that 12-0 run, and then next thing you know, they were off to the races, getting back in it. Caleb McDaniel was extremely start the second half. Lincolnton was not running their 2-3 defense as much as they usually do. They were running a little bit of man and even a little bit of 1-3-1 as the game went on. But McDaniel was able to slash down the lane and attack it and get and one opportunities in that second half. But unfortunately, someone had to lose, and that had to be the Maiden Blue Devils. And despite them being 4-3 in the conference, I would not want to face them at all in the conference tournament next month.
Well, I know other scores from last night, and speaking of your game, final score was 74-69, Lincoln and over Maiden. Other scores out of the conference was Lake Norman Charter 74, West Lincoln 39, North Lincoln 50, Bandy's 47, and East Lincoln had no trouble with Newton Conover 83-50. Sizing up the boys' race right now, Lincoln and East Lincoln still lead the way at 6-1, but Lincoln owns the victory over East so far this year. Lake Norman Charter comes in at 5-2, 4-3, Bandy's 3-4, North Lincoln 3-5, Newton Conover 2-5, and West Lincoln 0-8. In girls action last night in the conference, it was Lake Norman Charter 46, West Lincoln 18, North Lincoln 50, Bandy's 42. And Smoke spoke of Lincoln and had no trouble really with 63-45 and giving them their first loss. And East Lincoln 50, Newton Conover 47. In the girls' race, Maiden still leads the way at 6-1, but now Lincoln has pulled within a game of them, and East Lincoln also at 5-2. Norman Charter also is 5-2. North Lincoln is 2-4, Bandy's 2-5, North Lincoln 2-5, and West Lincoln 0-6 on the year.
So, I mean, now you look at this conference, in my opinion, even though Lake Norman Charter has already beaten Maiden, I feel like Maiden's a better team. And honestly, I could see this being a three-horse race between East Lincoln, Lincolnton, and Maiden as we go down the stretch into the conference tournament.
What did you say West Lincoln was?
Probably 0-8.
Oh, okay. I got 0-7 on here.
Yeah.
Newton Conover 2. I was just making sure. I was just trying to see if Max Preps was up to date as far as the standings go. Are those? Is that what you said? Is that up to date? 6-1, 6-1.
2-5, 3-5, 2-4, 0-7.
You believe that, Terry?
Only ones that are
West Lincoln?
No, the fact that the standings are up to date on there. That's why I don't believe more than anything. Let's see. Looking at that. Well, if that does mean update, Smoke's talking about those Maiden Blue Devils. They're in fourth at 4-3. Lincoln in there at the top. The best scoring team in the conference is East Lincoln at 540 in 7 games, and Lincoln in 498, and then behind them North Lincoln actually. West Lincoln actually 491. Terry, I looked right over them considering they thought. No, that's how many they've give up. Sorry, I got my eyes.
Yeah, that's
that's
totally
not good.
Not
that's
right.
not
Lake
good.
Norman Charter
those
is
mixed up.
5-2 now. West Lincoln
Okay.
fell to 0-8 because they
Okay.
played each other and they don't have their score in there.
Okay, so that's the one. That's the one. That,
messed
okay,
up.
there you go. Somebody needs. Terry, why don't you just send in your resume in Max Prep to him? You'll take care
I
of
send them a lot of
North
stuff,
Carolina.
but I mean, basketball-wise, I don't try to help them as much as I do in football, but, they need some help every now and then.
Well, the state's giving, they're getting all that money involved, right? They should have enough help as it is as far as that goes. Smoke, turn my headset up just a little bit there. Thank you. There you go. All right. Let's see. Looking over in the Big South 3A, is that all your notes there on the South Forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure is.
So looking over the Big South 3A, Kings Mountain 6-0, Ashbrook, North Gaston, Huss all at 5-2. We'll have Huss at Kings Mountain on January 26th. Next week, we'll make our first visit over to Shelby Golden Lion Country to see East Rutherford at Shelby in that conference. But over in the Big South, Kings Mountain, we'll see them again in a couple weeks like I said, against Huss. That'll be a good matchup over there. Stuart Kramer there in 5th, Forest View 6th, Crest and Burns down at the bottom of there in the conference right now. So you got Cleveland on the top and the bottom, and then Gaston in the middle.
Yeah, speaking of that conference, I know last night Kings Mountain defeated Crest 86-62. Adrian Depp only had 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists.
He had 30 at halftime, I think.
So there. Well, okay, he took a half off, didn't he?
Yeah. I got a text. I can look back on it just to check. But I'm pretty sure I got a text from Brent that said something about Delph with about 30 at halftime, I think. I'll go back and make sure, or one of his tweets.
So in other words,
I'll
the game
confirm
was
that. But yeah,
out of control, and
yeah.
they got to sit and watch a little bit.
Delph is really good handle, both hands, right hand, left hand. And he finishes both. So if he goes to the basket, I mean, he's 6'3", so he's pretty good size point guard. He works on his shot and his quickness, and just keeps getting better. He's gonna show some people. I think he's a pretty good basketball player.
Yeah, and not to switch subjects, but I mean, even in the girls' action, don't Hannah Clark play for Kings Mountain?
I think so.
She had 34 herself.
Is that all?
Last night, 34 out of the 54 that they scored against Crest. But
34.
Crest won 60-54. But I'm like, hey, what a showing for the Kings Mountain, a young lady and the gentleman.
Yeah, congratulations for them. Zeke Littlejohn also playing really well, having some scouts checking him out. He's one of those kids, Terry, that he's so tall and skinny. Like, you look at him like, there's no way that's as tall and big as he'll be. He's going to get bigger and stronger, and he might even be a senior. And like whatever college gets him or whatever, he's going to blossom into something even bigger. Probably, kid. I mean, he's just tall, skinny. He gets rebounds. He does like all the little stuff. So when he gets maybe at the next level, once he figures out a jumper or something else, something else, he can shoot right now pretty good. Once he gets figure out put some body weight on him, he's gonna be tough to deal with too, as well as Delph already is.
My question: Kings Mountain 6-0, and they got a 2-game lead over everybody in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Are they equipped to make a state run? I mean, they've lost 4 games overall. Who was them 4 against?
From what I've seen in the past few years, yeah, and it just depends on who you run into. See, Crest made the state run with a team similar to this Kings Mountain team. Kings Mountain don't have any body over like 6'3", 6'4", probably the tallest. In the past few years, they've had a couple 6'8"ers. So when you run into that 6'9" guy, they got beat.
Kind of runs.
They actually ran into Ashbrook. Crest did in the Final Four. Remember a couple years back, Ashbrook had 6'9" Isaiah Whaley. At the end of the day, we've seen it with East Lincoln. Twice in the state championships. You get down there, it's not. It's tough to deal with if you're outsized by one guy that much and you can't really match up. Our Cherryville teams that I played on, the 2 Final Four teams, happened both times. We got to, our tallest guy was 6'3" maybe, and we got to the Final Four, and the starting point guard 6'5", and you're just like, well, this is not going to be. We're gonna have
good matchup for you, young
man.
We're
gonna have to overcome the rebound because you just gotta overcome the rebound advantage,
is
right? The rebound advantage is such a big thing in basketball that you just got to box out. But you can win. We're not saying you can't win that way. East Lincoln hits their shots in those games. Chaz, he missed about
East Lincoln
everything.
beat Lincolnton with guys like Robbie Cowie and Raekwon Long.
Yeah.
And Raekwon Long was
7 foot. Yeah,
6 inches taller than Hayden Duggins.
Yeah, and it's one of them things when you're talking about getting in situations like that, and you
but
got
when you're
a
the state
6'5"
championship
guy.
guy, the 7 foot guy's also got 4 other 6'5" guys usually too with him.
I mean, when
at
you're
that point.
6'5" and you're a point guard and you're matched up against a 5'11" or 6 foot guy, all of a sudden that coach changes things. Hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring you down low and feed you the ball underneath, and you just use your athletic ability to beat him.
And honestly, I think it really depends for Kings Mountain is if they are in the same classification in terms of 3A as Cox Mill. Because if they are, I don't see it happening.
Here's the thing with Kings Mountain starting lineup. I mean, their lineup is, like I said, I would match them up really well with close to teams that have made runs in the past few years. It just depends on matchups, in the games. They've got 4 kids that are like I said, 6'3", 6'4". The Nagy kid, I can't remember how tall he is. Maybe he's a little bit under 6 foot. But those 4 they run a lot of 1-3-1 Terry, and they run it well because you need quickness, but they just don't have the big man there in the middle that can block the shots. But they block a lot of side shots, like I was telling you last week. Let's see if Raby, I said Nagy, it's Raby. I was thinking of the new football coach there in Chicago, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
Raby's 5'11", so right there. But they got a couple of guys that can bring off the bench a little bit taller. Don't really play that much, maybe for some fouls. But the 2 pace hour kids are the ones that really run that 1-3 with Zeke Littlejohn and of course Adrian Dale. So you got 6'2", 6'2", 6'3", 6'1". Like I said, right across the board, they're all about that height, and they can all play.
Yeah.
Both the pace hour kids are really good hustlers. Eli, he's a junior, and you can tell Kobe's a freshman. Eli, that's for him to be coming back next year, that's going to help it. And Zeke Littlejohn will be back senior next year. So those 2, everybody will be back except for Dale Freely on this team next year. So they've had some depth over the years. I remember when I was at Bessemer, they stomped us into the ground one game when we went over there, and that was when actually the coach for Bessemer now, what's his name, over at Bessemer, basketball at Kings Mountain. Was it Kings Mountain? I just talked to him last night. I'm an idiot. I'll pull it up right now then. No, I'll figure that out. Anyway, they beat us into the ground over there. They had a pep band back when they played. I like that schools have pep bands at the basketball games.
It's just it's bad if you're in a gymnasium that has the sound carry really well because then you can barely hear yourself.
Well, a lot of people, and don't get me wrong, I like pep bands too. I like your student section. I like all of that. But a lot of people, and it's nothing against it. I love it, but a lot of people don't want to sit around that pep band on account it's so loud.
Poor folks.
I know.
Poor folks.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like it. I like it.
Poor folks. Anyway, they can make a run. Like, that Crest team and the teams that I was on and a couple of other teams I've seen make some runs without the East Lincoln teams. All of them can make a run. It's all going to depend on the matchups of who they get into and what happens. Let's see. In their conference, like I said, we had them on top there. Looking over in Cherryville, let's get over to them in Bessemer City and Highland Tech, some of our local teams, Lincoln Charter.
You got the baseball schedule.
I got baseball smoke. Well, I just no good then at all. Anyway,
not yet. Anyway.
Yeah, right. Last night.
It's only.
What did Danny tell me? He was counting down the days. He told me last night. He said, "Kevin, did you know?" And I was like, "Oh gosh."
I got a little over a month.
Yeah, that's it.
He said
it's not
he
long.
said 40 days was his.
Good Lord.
So, I don't even know how to change the sports right now on this.
There you go.
Last night, that Kings Mountain Crest score, like Terry said, was 86-62. Brent Pascal and Jeff Jones did that. Adrian Delph, 34 points. Crest Ray, 22. I think it's Jason Ray. It's Jalen Ray's little brother, and they look just alike. You can't deny that they're brothers. Cherryville with a sweep last night. Boys 84-73. Girls 66-54. That girls game was really close late. Then Bessemer just kind of pulled away at the end. Both games really physical. What you think? As a rivalry, had a couple injuries here and there, but overall pretty good basketball games. Good time. JP was up there in the house with me last night, helping out along with Danny Aker and Milton Baker. We met the Gunner came over and said hello to Milton and talked about how they because they can't watch on Friday nights, they go back and watch the replays of our broadcast, and they wanted to meet Danny and Milton over there, and Danny Milton thought he was a celebrity over there.
Hall of Famers.
Yeah. But Danny introduced him to the Acre Baker boys, and the Gunner boys met last night. So we also got pictures of the belt. Terry, you remember Coach Pruitt called? I showed a picture of the belt. Pretty nice little belt. A neat little belt. Trey Corey was carrying it around from the football team. Showing off the belt with the Gunners as during the basketball game. In the conference, Lincoln Charter though is 3-0, Highland Tech 2-1, Piedmont Community 2-1, Bessemer City 1-1, Thomas Jefferson 0-2, Cherryville 0-3, Cherryville 10-6 overall, Lincoln Charter 13-3 overall.
Here's your question with this conference. I mean, Lincoln Charter last night had to play Highland Tech, and as we see, that's first and second place, and But
was it
was
a tight one?
Final score: Lincoln Charter 90, Highland Tech 51.
Phew.
So you won by 39, and a team that's.
I mean, this conference is not even up for debate. It's like, just go ahead and crown Lincoln Charter. I hate to say that because you say, well, you never know, but unless 3 of the starters get hurt, I mean.
That's right, or the bus takes a wrong turn.
Yeah, I mean.
And you get a forfeit.
Let me ask you. 12-team conferences.
12 teams. Now you have to separate them into halves like they do the ACC.
No, you don't. You just play. That's.
If they had 12 team
that's what college does.
Well, I know,
college
but
does
if they had 12
so they
team
could play William
do not
and Mary.
tell me they would not do that.
I know they would.
That
do
would
that,
be 22 games of regular season play.
What I mean by is 12 teams and they play each other 11 times, and there's your season. No out of conference games.
Man, that'd be tough. That means I'd never be able to get somebody back if they beat me.
In the playoffs, get to the playoffs.
Oh, you talking about
I'm
in
talking
football?
About football.
Oh, I'm with you in football.
Basketball,
now.
22 conference games.
Yeah.
Who cares about that either?
Yeah.
Because you'll be playing those same teams anyway. It's going to be the same teams you play out of conference.
Yeah.
So if you increase it, if you're increasing this conference with another 1A conference, you're giving Lincoln Charter more competition in basketball. You're also giving more competition in football. And then you got 11 teams instead of 12 teams.
If you go back in NCHSAA way back in the early 70s, that's the way it used to be. If you had however many teams was in your conference, that's your regular season, and you probably had maybe one out-of-conference game that you played.
Me.
You know, that's how it used to be way back then.
Because in college they do it so Alabama can play Western and make money and play their scrubs because they got 118 people on the team. So, in college it's different. In high school, there's no reason, you're going to play those same 11 teams anyway, basically. There's a couple of games here and there that
but does that make you better, or is be my question?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, really.
You can't look at just football, though. You can't look at just football. It has to affect all the other sports. Because once you start thinking just football, you get into little bitty arguments like that. And you got, who cares? Because you're making such a big deal about it. Who cares? What I'm getting at is that if you increase it to 12, you take care of the football schedule, then you give more teams in the basketball too, and the baseball and everything else. Then you're going to play those teams anyway. Then you play 22 conference games in the basketball. I mean baseball and how many they play anyway?
Yeah, I mean about 24.
Okay, then play 2 or 3. Then play a couple Christmas tournaments or whatever.
Less than 25, most of them.
The problem,
I don't see
the problem is for these 1A conferences is a lot of 1A teams. Of course, they're private. They don't have full teams. So, I mean, that'll really throw a wrench
in a different
into
conference every sport.
And
think about that. Every sport they play, they're in a different conference.
So
basically,
Lincoln Charter and Piedmont
Lincoln
Community.
and Shelby and Bessemer aren't in different conferences in every sport. Because in baseball and basketball and football, they're in different conferences totally. Where's Pine Lake Prep in basketball?
I thought they had a basketball team. And then they did.
So I mean,
there's no.
They got to figure out a way to fix that situation. Whether it to be go 5A. Our solution is pretty much has always been 5A, then the charters and privates, and then let them figure it out between themselves exactly how they want to do the sports, and then do the 5As in high school. Because you got a couple of those schools in the 2,000 range of kids. They need to be in their own section. They don't need to be playing down here with some of these that are on the edge of the upper 3As. Like like North Lincoln was up on the upper edge of the 2As playing teams that were 4A a lot of the time. So There's no way that those teams should be matching up like that. So.
Who besides Lincoln Charter? Who is the next best team in the conference? If you look down there and you go by record, you'd say Cherryville and they're last. They're 0-3, 10-6. Are they the second best team in this conference? Or but Bessemer City should be. Because they beat Cherryville.
Twice
yeah,
already.
that's what I'm saying. But their overall record 6
Lincoln
and
Charter
7.
beat them by like 42.
Yeah.
So I mean, Bessemer City's had some really good basketball teams over the past 5 years. I think they've kind of they've graduated some of those and they're trying to regroup a little bit. So that's I think what explains them being around 500. Highland Tech's always been pretty solid at basketball too. You know, people always get onto them about their football, but basketball and baseball have been pretty solid throughout the years.
Or just do what about 11-team conferences? Then that gives you a little bit extra flexible room on the out of conference scheduling as far as 10-team or maybe 10 teams at least.
Well, that's what the big SMAC was.
10 teams.
It was around that, right? Because they only had 2 or 3 non-conference games.
I don't think 10 would be that bad. That would put you at 18 in basketball and baseball, Terry.
I just hate it because if you're Highland Tech down, Cherryville, Bessemer City, Thomas Jefferson, Piedmont Community Charter, you're playing for second. And you want to have the best because that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to play for second to try to have a decent record to put you in the playoffs. You know, but the problem I have with it is even when the playoffs come out, you're still going to have to go through Lincoln Charter to win it anyway.
And
so,
if you're in the same classification, if you're not, you probably have to go against another private school.
Winston-Salem Prep.
I was about to say, what about the girls?
Yeah,
the girls situation.
So, I mean, you just run into this. This is the problem that 1A has. It's like, especially in basketball. Football, not much. Baseball, a little bit. But this is really a problem in basketball only, in my opinion. Or mostly basketball, I should say.
Well, yeah, and the small conference really, I think, exacerbates the problem with that.
Yeah, it does.
And then because, you know, Shelby's in a small conference too. This is also a problem with them. You know, you look at it in football and you're like, well, the other teams are like, well, it's Shelby and South Point and we're playing for third. So, you know, if it was a 10-team conference, maybe it was 3. Maybe there's an extra team that's good enough to compete with those, and you got 3 elite teams instead of the just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because every sport it changes. Because you know every school's good at their own things, but people will say the same thing about West Lincoln and wrestling. Maybe you know.
Yeah. And I'm the first one to tell you that, like, there you go. When you switch back over to Southern Piedmont, I mean South Fork rather, but there's 8 teams in it, you know, and that kind of takes your non-conference away and makes it less for you to have to get teams. When you're a Shelby, just like this past year when Shelby had to go down there and play South Fork with a knee out of South Carolina, they're having to hunt somebody to fill in spots, and that really bothers you. In basketball, probably not a problem, but in football, it is a problem.
Well, yeah, and I mean, in the Southwestern 2A, we said how predictable it was. Basketball looks like it's going to be a dogfight for everyone but Chase. And baseball, I think, will be much of the same in the Southwestern 2A. It's just not going to be a good football conference. But, you know, look at South Fork 2A and Big South. Those are 2 of the best conferences because they're loaded. They got schools in there, a lot of schools in there that are close to each other. So, I mean,
here's the thing, though. If you do less teams in a conference, that means more conferences, right?
Yeah.
What does that also mean? More participation awards to conference champions.
That's true.
We give out more. We make more champions, and that's what we do. We had how many teams made bowls this year? How many bowls did you tell me there were?
40.
Usually around 40.
Yeah. So 80 teams. 40 teams. You get a ribbon.
Mm-hmm. And when you sit back and thinking, I'm going to jump over here for Lake Norman Charter. When they were in the Big South, they couldn't compete in that conference. There was no way. Yeah, football-wise, no way. Now that they moved back into the South Fork Conference, it took them about 2 or 3 years to figure that out, and they started competing. Their last couple of years in the Southern Piedmont at that time, they were competitive.
They had
they beat Lincoln in a couple times.
But here's the thing: wait till somebody like Zion Williamson goes to Lake Norman Charter.
Yeah, well,
then what y'all gonna do?
You know, well, that's what
get dunked on.
Yeah, I mean they're down. This year they're kind of having a down year for their standards. You know,
that could
below
explode
500.
at any time.
But this is the first year of them being back in this conference.
Well,
just give them a couple.
And they lost a couple of their key players over the last year. I mean, they were making.
What if all those
Mooresville
kids start going to Lake Norman Charter?
Well, that's a pretty long
well,
drive.
if you take the boys right now, the boys are in third place, 5-2.
Yeah,
and the girls are in 4th place, or well, tied for second, really, at 5-2 in the girls. So they're competing in this conference in basketball.
You're thinking of Lake Norman.
Lake Norman Charter. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. What did I say?
You were saying, would all those Mooresville kids go to Lake Norman Charter? You were confusing Lake Norman with Lake Norman Charter.
Yeah, Lake Norman Charter. That's what I meant.
Yeah, they're about 45 minutes away.
I don't know how the charter rules work.
I'm not. Well, considering that traffic, I'm not going from Mooresville to Lake Norman Charter.
Winston-Salem Prep played Cherokee in a Final Four. Let's put the Winston-Salem Prep and Cherokee isn't the same as Bessemer City and Cherryville. Bessemer City and Cherryville have about 5,000 homes they can draw from. Winston-Salem Prep can draw from 2.5 million homes.
And it helps too.
And they're both in the same. And they're both in the same conference. So think about that. All right, guys, we'll be back in just a few minutes. It's time to take a break here on KTC Broadcasting.com.
Looking for the best deal on a new RV? Join Campers Inn of Kings Mountain at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th through 21st at the Park Expo and Conference Center. We're offering incredible savings on top brands of motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels like Coachman, Columbus, Stryker, Puma, and more. Start the new year off with a bang by finding your dream RV. Don't miss out. These deals are only available at the show. Visit Campers Inn RV, the RVer's trusted resource, at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th to 21st. Go online at campersinn.com.
Tee it up and let it fly at the Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, voted Gaston County's best course. Ride and play Monday through Friday for just $28. Play and ride after 12 for $25. On the weekends and holidays, play and ride for $38, and afternoon for only $28. Seniors 55 and older play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. And Monday is Ladies' Day. Ladies, play and ride on Mondays for $18. The Crowder's Mountain Golf Course, located on 255 Lincoln Academy Road in Gastonia.
You may not know this, but the best greens of the Carolinas are right here in Shelby and Cleveland County at the Riverbend YMCA Golf Course. People continue to rave about the condition of the greens. Russell Spangler has worked hard to make them tip-top shape for your round of golf. And course manager Phil Wallace invites you to come on by and play. Call for their special rates at 704-482-4286 or visit the website at riverbendymcagolf.com. Call for your tee time today.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with my co-host Eric Church, who just spent a few days in Maui with a couple of his heroes.
I'm with Chris Christopherson more than anybody. Willie a little bit.
Willie didn't invite you to one of those poker games, did he?
He did.
That's Eric Church this week on Country Countdown USA.
Country Countdown USA with Lon Helton, Wednesday afternoons at 1 o'clock on Carolina Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com. Discover the ENT Carolina difference. ENT Carolina is there to help you hear. Trust your hearing to the medical experts at ENT Carolina. You'll find board-certified physicians and doctors of audiology, and they diagnose your hearing loss and suggest the best solution for you. There's a location near you, 2520 Aberdeen Boulevard in Gastonia, 1180 White Road in Shelby, and 1212 Spruce Street in Belmont, or online at carolinahears.com. Discover the ENT Carolina difference today.
Old lamp ride, jump in the fire, fire too high, jump in the pot, pot too black, jump in the crack, crack too high, jump in the sky too blue, jump in canoe, canoe too shallow, jump in the tallow, tallow too soft, jump in the loft, loft too rotten, jump in the cotton, cotton so white she stayed there all night.
You gotta look at JP. Are we on?
Yes.
Yeah. Terry, you got to look at JP when that's going on. Yeah, that's the best part of that is watching him in there. He's in there churning.
Live video on him.
He's in there churning butter, I'll tell you that. Good morning, Campers Inn. Saturday Sports Talk. JP in the house, churning butter for Jock Anderson. If you're listening or watching, girl, hope you're feeling better. Down and out right now. I think she got it from her nephew. She had to take him to the doctor the other day, and then she was out for 2 days sick. So somebody gave it to her over the doctor's office. Poor girl. She'll be back next weekend helping out here on KTC. Smoke, Evan Ludwig in the house, Terry Reinhardt, Kevin Hastings here. Campers in Saturday. We got NFL action today to talk about. We've got college basketball to talk about. Clemson. Poor Gabe DeVoe. He's been the wrath of Twitter this past few days. I got a picture.
No, it's not that. Kevin Keats said timeout. Think about it for another 5 minutes.
Let's just go ahead and talk about that. Terry, tell us about that strategy, Terry.
Well, there's no strategy.
Trying to freeze the Shelby kid.
We didn't really freeze the Shelby kids. We tried to give the whole game to Clemson.
That is true. I
mean, so many mistakes were made in the last minute and 33 seconds with us up by 12
of my Twitter trend.
And I was really ashamed. I mean, at that time, to say I'm a State fan, I mean, when it was all over, it took me like 30 minutes to go to sleep because I'm like, how did we win? I mean, that's what I kept saying because we was throwing the ball out.
Did you send any text to David Allen or anybody, or Jeff Jones or Brent Pasco?
No, I didn't send nothing.
Pasco's a State and a Shelby guy.
Oh, man.
If he had any hair, he'd have pulled it all out, wouldn't he?
Look at all the mistakes State made. We had Hunt fouling Gabe DeVoe on the last shot of the game, and then he looked around like I didn't foul him. I'm like, you mugged him. You about took his arm off when he started to shoot. But then we had walking. We had missing free throws. We had throwing the ball out of bounds that anybody in the world knows that does not count. And even the refs missed the first one, and it was 4 foot out of bounds that he threw it into. So, I mean, the State was lucky to win. We come away, and that's how I had to sit back and say it was a W.
Well, I mean, and this is big for you guys because this is the first time in at least 10 years you've beaten ranked opponents back-to-back. And, usually when you beat a big team like you beat Duke last Saturday,
you turn around and lose the next one.
You turn around and lose the next one. But, this time it's a little different. I mean, I don't think this is going to be a team that makes a deep run in the tournament. This is Keats' first year. But, I mean, you can start to see the hype around Keats and possibly that he's living up to this hype and he could be the next big thing in North Carolina.
They're going to play Virginia at Virginia. What's our chances on winning? People are going to say, maybe 10, 15% because, Carolina got beat up there. That's how people look at it. Well, Carolina couldn't win up there. But so State's going up there, so they don't expect them. Here's the difference to me and State going. O'Meara has to have a good game again. I mean, because they will let the center play a big role. If he's a shooter and he can pull them away from being underneath the goal, State will have a chance, but he's going to have to hit his shots. Mm-hmm. So he's got to be a big one, for tomorrow. But State has not been good on the road. I mean, the Fighting Irish beat us by 30.
Well, and also you got to remember when you're down by 6 at a place like Virginia, it's more like you're down by 20 because that Virginia defense is amazing. Tony Bennett's done an amazing job at Virginia to create a culture that's really.
Virginia runs the Panthers offense. I got smoked to laugh at a Panthers joke. Yeah. Why are the Wofford Terriers not ranked ahead of the Tar Heels?
What's the record?
11-5.
Who knows?
Tar Heels are 12-4. They beat
Maybe
Tar Heels
them losses by Wofford are against
in Chapel Hill. What does that matter?
Well, I mean, I've always told people that's just like
you should switch spots in the standings
when
you beat somebody, no matter what your record is.
UCF and we always go back and mention games like that in football and basketball, but you can get up for one game. Your guys can really be motivated to play one game, and excel. So when Wofford played Carolina thought that, we'll just go out here and run through our offense and we're going to win.
49 years has Clemson beaten North Carolina in the state of North Carolina.
Well, they have never. And they got that coming up again.
How many times in the last 47 years has South Carolina beaten North Carolina in the state of North Carolina?
Probably never.
Never. A combined, I think, if I'm right, 96 years of futility from South Carolina basketball beating the Tar Heels in the state of North Carolina, and here Wofford Terriers beats them. The least they could do, since Carolina's got 4 losses and rank them ahead of them, Carolina's going to have to lose some more.
How hard is it, though, as a coach, Roy Williams, to get your
Duke,
team
Carolina, and Kentucky
motivated to play every game? I mean, when they said Wofford, okay, we just walk out here. We're at home. It should be easy, no problem. But Wofford stayed in the game. And the longer the game goes on, when you get into the second half and Wofford's still in the chance to beat you with 10 minutes to go, they start believing in themselves. And Carolina starts saying, what is wrong with us right now? And trying to fix things, and then it's too late.
Well, Roy Williams is not the master adjuster of He's the master of panic more than anything. Who they used to call that in football? Wasn't there a football coach they called the master of panic? They're not a comeback team like that, or he hasn't been.
Well, and they don't have the players like they've had the last few years to get over that.
They ain't had any really NBA stars in quite a while.
Well, I'll go back to when Duke was playing State. Duke was up 27-16. Here's your chance to put State away. They did not. State goes on a 15-0 run. All of a sudden, they take the lead. Well, I'm still sitting there, and I know Smoke, but I was Smoke. I was like, State's not going to beat them. We're going to mess around, and we're going to lose at the end. We're going to be in this game, make it close.
No, I was thinking State was going to win the whole way through because I'm like, dang, State always wins one of these games against Duke every year. It seems like they beat Duke last year at Duke, but it usually happens in Raleigh. So I'm like, it's probably going to happen. But Duke just played awful defense. It's just that's the problem you have when you have all these freshmen sometimes. And
yeah, when you got 4 on the court.
What's NC State's record, Terry?
12-5,
and they've beat Duke.
They've beat Duke, a number 2 team. They beat Arizona, a number 2 team, and they've beat 19th ranked Clemson.
They don't even have a single vote.
Well, they shouldn't.
In the top 25. Why shouldn't they?
We shouldn't be in the top 25.
Y'all beat 2 number 2 teams in Clemson.
Yeah, but we lost to the Fighting Irish by 30.
Well, they've got votes. They're 26.
We lost to Clemson down there by 16.
Was that game without Bonzie Colson?
Yes, he did not even play.
That's a very bad loss.
How many other teams in the country have beat 2 number 2 teams?
If State would beat Virginia, they'd be 25th. That's what happened. They would not go too far in there. They'd probably come in at number 25.
Y'all ain't getting no credit. And I mean, they don't even got a single vote. 12-5, not a vote in either poll.
That's fine.
Weird.
That's fine.
That's weird.
I mean, we're still early in the season. It's January.
I get as people are looking at just that loss column's all they're looking at.
And when you look at teams, what do you usually do? Like when you look at Carolina, we say Joel Berry, the leader. When who do you say the leader? Omer? I mean,
I know I got a picture of them right there, and you don't know 2 of them.
They're bench warmers.
They're bench warmers.
So, I mean, that's how I do. So,
well, Carolina's lost 4 games this year: Michigan State, Florida State, Virginia, and Wofford. 3 of them ranked teams. Well, I guess that's when they were playing, not now. They're ranking. I hate how they list it like that. They should put it. I don't care where they were ranked when they played. I want to know where they're ranked now.
Virginia's still. I think both teams are still ranked.
Yeah, well, you got to keep it on.
I'm saying that should change to a 3.
No, that should. You should have it how they was ranked at that time.
That's silly.
Well, it should be because when it comes to the end,
but that's not the real ranking. Let's put it this way: if you play Duke the first game of the season, they're ranked number 1. They go 0-34. It says number 1 on your schedule still.
It should. Because at that time, that's how they were ranked.
That was the argument people were making for Alabama when they were playing Florida State.
Well, I mean, how would you put it? State beat a number 2 ranked Arizona. Well, then Arizona lost 3 straight in that tournament.
People thought then. That was what people
they
thought
fell
then.
out.
They're not.
But Arizona's come back up. Yeah, Arizona's has come back up in the rankings.
Oh goodness, that's tough to think whatever level you're on with that one, Terry. You and whoever runs the ESPN schedule, y'all are on the same goal there. Let's see. I was backing out to the rankings. Which page did I have the rankings on?
ACC rankings right there.
That's the ACC standings, yeah. Oh, Pitt. Well, that's what I was wanting. Rankings. I was looking for rankings. Virginia's 3rd. Duke 7th. It's not letting me scroll down. I already went back. Has Duke got out of the cellar finally? They're not in last place in the ACC. Miami 18th, Clemson 19th, North Carolina 20, Florida State 23, Notre Dame sitting at basically 26th, NC State no votes somehow.
Doesn't Clemson play North Carolina coming Tuesday?
Let me check the schedule.
Now look at this, Terry. Smoke, what do you think real quick, yes or no? Georgia got 1 vote for the top 25. You think that was because they beat Alabama Saturday?
Alabama has one of the best players in the nation, in Colin Sexton. But I don't think that's the reason.
Yeah, you don't think one person said, Georgia beat Alabama, and I wish they would have won it, Terry. What do you think?
No.
Actually, considering how some of these votes go sometimes,
yes,
maybe, yeah.
I guarantee one vote. Anytime there's one vote for somebody, something's questionable. It has usually happened. That's all your ACC teams in there. Smoke's pulling up the schedule for.
Yeah, we actually got a doubleheader tonight on for ACC.
Cherryville, yeah, we got Clemson and Carolina basketball today.
Yeah, Miami at Clemson. That should be a good one to see how Clemson bounces back after losing a tough one against a real good Miami team. That'll be on 2:30 p.m. on WHS and WLON only. And at 5 o'clock, we'll have North Carolina at Notre Dame. So immediately following the Clemson-Miami game, North Carolina having to go up north to South Bend to take on the Fighting Irish. That should be an interesting game. Carolina should be favored considering that Notre Dame's still going to be without Bonzie Colson for a couple more weeks. That's hurting Notre Dame, but they're off to a good start in conference. And let's see, when you're asking Clemson, North Carolina, that'll be on January the 16th, so that is this Tuesday at 6 o'clock. See if Clemson can finally win in Chapel Hill.
All right, today's top 25 action: number 2 West Virginia, at number 8 Texas Tech, number 25 Creighton, at number 10 Xavier. Miami is 18 at 19 Clemson, like Smoke said there on KTC Broadcasting. Appalachian State hosts Georgia Southern today. That's not top to anything ranked. It's just telling you Appalachian State's hosting Georgia Southern. Just in case Smoke wanted to know, he's on the edge of your seat for that one.
Oh, yeah.
South Carolina Upstate's at Stetson today.
Actually, App's gotten off to a pretty solid start, I think, in conference play.
And that may be all there is today in top 25 games against each other. I think that's it. All right, it's time for another break. JP, you awake? Did you put 50 Cent in the honey bun can? Better. Milton will cut somebody. All right, we'll be back in just a few minutes on KTC Broadcasting.com.
Looking for the best deal on a new RV? Join Campers Inn of Kings Mountain at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th through 21st at the Park Expo and Conference Center. We're offering incredible savings on top brands of motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels like Coachman, Columbus, Stryker, Puma, and more. Start the new year off with a bang by finding your dream RV. Don't miss out. These deals are only available at the show. Visit Campers Inn RV, the RVer's trusted resource, at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th to 21st. Go online at campersinn.com. Today, more and more people are shopping and getting their information online. Here at KTC Broadcasting, we're making our websites easier for you to find out what you're looking for. At KTCBroadcasting.com, you can listen to all 3 of our radio stations, plus watch live video of high school sports, American Legion Baseball, Christmas parades, and other special events. At WhatsUpShopper.com, you'll find all kinds of deals from our local merchants. Shop our eBay store, plus swap shop items, along with community and church events and our local news. And at LincolnCounty.com, you'll find all the information you need concerning Lincoln County. From local businesses to government to school information, even today's local weather forecast. So click on and enjoy. That's KTCBroadcasting.com, the WhatsUpShopper.com, and LincolnCounty.com. The future is today.
5 seconds on the clock. The ball is in the hands of your best player. 4 seconds. A game of 5-on-5 comes down to 1-on-1. 3 seconds. He starts to drive. 2 seconds. Stutter step, crossover dribble. He steps. 1 second. Raises up and lets it fly.
Carolina is going to the championship game.
Feel the intensity right here on the Tar Heels Sports Network.
Check out what the Green Meadows Golf Club on Kelly Road in Mount Holly has to offer. On Wednesday, you can play all day for $28, including cart and green fee. And ladies, Wednesday is your day too. Ladies play and ride all day for only $15. To make your tee time, call the Green Meadows Golf Club at 704-827-9264. You'll love it. The Green Meadows Golf Club, located at 957 Kelly Road in Mount Holly. Come see what they have to offer.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Well, now take down your fishing pole and meet me at the fishing hole. We may not get a bite all day, but don't you rush away. What a great place to rest your bones, and mighty fine for skipping stones.
You know, that's funny. A guy in a fishing boat about pulled out in front of me, and I didn't make it today. You did. I was going to either have to go under his boat or something. He about pulled out. He slammed on. He slammed on at the last second.
You have to talk. We go from a guy that's such as positive as Andy Griffin to a guy.
Have you seen
a guy in a fishing boat?
Have you seen the Andy Griffith Cam Newton one?
Yes, I've seen that one.
I just wondered. You seen that one, Terry?
No, I have not.
I'll go out to show you. That was pretty good. You'll laugh at that. It was the one where Andy was talking to Opie about winning and losing and stuff, and they put Cam's head on Opie. Oh. So if you know,
go to your room.
Know that one, that's exactly. Go to your room. Oh, that's pretty good. If you're
Don't you think you're being a little bit hard on him, man?
I got to figure out how to do that. Once y'all let me figure out how to put people's heads on the videos, it's going to be over with here. All right, welcome back to Campers in Kings Mountain Saturday Sports Talk. Breakfast by Mitchum's Kitchen. Let's see, Terry.
Yes.
NC State won a bowl game
by 20-something.
And they fell from 18 to 23. Explain that.
How can anybody do that? How can you win a bowl game and the pro before you had you number 18?
They even gave y'all a trophy and everything.
Yeah.
In front of a national audience.
And we fall to 23rd in the final poll. Now, I know them teams who finally maybe won a first bowl game or something should not have jumped over us. So, I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
Did the 17 teams in front of y'all win?
No, I don't think so. There's the problem. So how would that happen?
I don't know, Terry. That's
I don't
good.
either. I think it was that 13-man selection that went in there and picked again.
It sounded like the same person voting for Central Florida was voting against the NC State Wolfpack. And really, you know, when you think about it, Terry, you're joking about it. That's really basically the kind of stuff that happens to teams like State, North Carolina. And I keep saying, you know, it's not fair to the Tar Heels or anyone else. I just remember the year that I just started like, you know, questioning college football was your Carolina lost that one game to Florida State, and they fell from being in the top 5 or they could have been number 1 maybe if they'd have won that game to all the way out of the top 10. And I'm like, if Florida State would have lost that game, well, they had fell to 13th. No, they'd fell to like 5th or 6th or something like that. And I didn't understand that.
And then your final poll takes UCF from number 12 all the way up to number 6. We don't want to put you too close to being in that top 4.
Wait, how far did they jump the whole year? Did they didn't they start like at like 18?
They made more of an expand this final poll.
They did the whole
year.
Well, I think they started. I don't know if they started outside the top.
I think
they started right outside the
like
top
that.
25. They gradually went up, and then right when they got to 15th, they were not budging at all.
At all.
And then I think they may have moved them up to 12th after the conference championship. But that's
what Scott Frost was talking about. You know, the concerted effort that the teams kept falling in front of them, and I kept making the point, Terry. You know, as it came up, I'm like, look, guys. They're going to have a hard argument because these teams keep adding 3 losses. Once you get to 3 losses and you're sitting there with an undefeated record, it gets really, really, really hard.
People were making the case the whole time about, Auburn making it in with 2 losses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we almost had that there for a moment.
And then UCF knocked them off. I don't know if this is the preseason. Yeah, dominates preseason. This is one preseason poll.
There you go. They said they was number 1, and they finished number 1.
Central Florida was not even on this, guys. This was in the Sporting News top 25. They had Alabama, Ohio State, Florida State 3, USC 4, Penn State, Clemson, Washington, Oklahoma State,
Georgia?
Auburn. 14th. Georgia.
There you go.
So, you know, and you can't say that stuff doesn't matter. Here's all of them across the top of the board. So Georgia preseason. 10th, 18th, 13th, 14th, 12th, 13th.
And Alabama was
1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3.
Yeah.
USC,
Who in the
2,
ESPN?
4.
What in the world was y'all thinking about? Put them at number 3.
Florida State 4, 1, 2, 3, 7, 2. Well, you know, at the end of the year, before the Final Four came out, ESPN was actually closest, Terry, at 3.
Yeah.
Because they were 4, and then won the 2 games again. So. Auburn. I mean, I guess NC State had one top 25 ranking there. Let's see.
Who
ranked them there, Terry. Let's see. Fox.
And we finished 23rd. They almost got it right.
They knew it. Fox was on top of the NC State Wolfpack preseason prediction there. So Central Florida celebrates the national championship. Smoke. They're giving out bonuses to the coaches and everybody. Congratulations to them. Whatever the solution is,
just play them.
It'll never be. You got to make rules, I think.
Yeah, they got to be rules in place, no matter what.
If any time that if anyone agrees to letting anyone decide what their opinion is and picking teams out, what do we do that for anything? Do we just let a couple of people just decide things?
It would be the same thing as walking in here and say, Smoke, Kevin, and Terry, y'all are going to do y'all's own poll. You got 3 people, so it's never going to be the same. Mm-hmm. So y'all are going to do it, and we're going to go with y'all's rankings.
By the way, got the final AP poll. I finally found it. They had Bama 1, Georgia 2, Oklahoma 3, Clemson 4, Ohio State 5, Central Florida 6, Wisconsin 7, Penn State 8, TCU 9, and Auburn at 10. Auburn with 4 losses makes it into the top 10.
Top 10.
Yet they couldn't make. People are just talking about how UCF didn't make a national championship game even though they were undefeated. Even Auburn, as big as they are, when they had Jason Campbell back in 2004, they were undefeated and didn't make the national championship game.
Who
how
won
does
that?
Auburn?
How did that one end up?
I think it was the one where Oklahoma got steamrolled by USC. I think because USC was undefeated at that time, and so was Oklahoma. So, if I remember correctly, at least they had 2 teams that were in the national championship.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
So that's probably what I got left out. But at least that was the case, you know. Let's see, other notable teams.
But you wouldn't have all these teams with just – and here's the snakes of these Power 5 conferences. They tell the other 5 that they can't get in the playoffs, or they can if they do enough and they get voted in. But then they turn around, and like Alabama will play 4 out of conference games, and 2 of them are against non-Power 5 teams and get automatic wins against those. If they were playing everybody in the SEC, I was saying with the 12-team schedule or 12 teams, you play 11 games in your schedule. Hey, guess what? Everybody's not going to have 1 loss anymore, are there? Because half the teams in the conference had losing records in the conference. Actually, more than half the teams.
It's really just 3 schools in the SEC right now. It was Georgia, Alabama, and Auburn.
Yeah.
And the only reason I think Auburn really manhandled Alabama and Georgia was because they were playing them at home. Yeah. And we saw what happened when they were on a neutral site.
Well, speaking of your national championship game, Nick Saban proved that he is the best of all time. And he proved it with the moves that he made in a championship game. How many other coaches would have took their starting quarterback out of the game and put in a true freshman?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, Tua did a great job coming out as a true freshman. He showed his true freshman moments, giving up a big sack in overtime. But just you see why he was always on the radar. I mean, Trent Dilfer said, he runs these elite quarterback camps, and Trent Dilfer said this is probably the best high school prospect I've ever seen. And that says a lot. And just, Tua just showed why he's living up to the hype, and now it's just going to be as good as he is, it's going to be kind of annoying for my Alabama fans this offseason because that's all they're going to talk about. And if he continues to progress like people think he is, it's going to be dangerous for Alabama next year. And honestly, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's a good college quarterback, but I feel like if they would have kept him in, they would have lost.
Oh, I do too. And the thing that really got me is I said, just check out your final play. Your quarterback's a true freshman. His 4 wideouts were all true freshmen. Devontae Smith, the guy who caught the touchdown, but is only his 8th catch all year long, and then you had an offensive lineman that was a freshman. I'm like, this Alabama, and people say, well, they might not be that good next year. Oh, yeah, they'll continue to be good for that reason because they never going to lose. They're one of the top picks for all the people coming in to next year besides Georgia. And Alabama's consistently going to be there.
I keep getting on Alabama about their schedule. Think about it. They played a quarterback for 2 years that didn't even have to throw a pass.
Not really, no.
They played a quarterback for 2 years where they didn't even have to throw a pass, and he didn't realize it until halftime of a game where he's getting beat by 11 or what was the score at halftime? 13 other half. Hey, I might need to throw a couple passes in this game. Let's get the kid off the bench so they can throw it. Because think about that. 2 years, he would have put the kid off the bench in there earlier if he would have needed him earlier in the season, if that was the case. Because he's only down 13 points. Come on now.
Yeah,
because he had to think, I can't score 13. I can't get to 20 and a half with Jalen. Right?
Yeah. That's true.
That's what he has to think, is I can't get to 20 and a half of Jalen. I've been doing this for 2 years, and then I don't know. It's just Man, that's how deep they are at all the other positions, that they don't even have to have a quarterback.
They were
that can
running
throw
out a
the
good
ball
bit of true freshmen in that game.
Yeah, they was. And was he under any pressure? Yeah, he was under pressure when they finally got into overtime. The first sack they got on him, but he took that like that was nothing. But I still sat there.
All the safety for Georgia's fault.
Well, I'm telling you, I sat. Yeah, it was.
Well, the corner got burned too.
All the safeties.
The corner.
Well, it's not the corner's fault. That's where the safety's supposed to be over helping him in the backside.
More than likely, Smoke, that corner was playing sideline on that. And that as soon as he ran the go, so what you do is in that cut, if you're playing a corner, you know that safety's behind you. So you're thinking either I'm playing this, I'm looking for the sideline out, something I could jump, or the comebacker. Okay, because if he comes back, they're not going to run it in right then. Probably, I would imagine not. College sometimes maybe because of the first down clock, but for the most part, that corner's looking for that cut and route. So he drops back. He didn't. As soon as the guy beat him, he's thinking, well, if he does beat him, I've got the underneath throw. So he's got that picked off. So that's how that's supposed to be designed. What happened was that the safety and I saw the other safeties do this, trying to bite on that tight end across the middle instead of the guy running deep around the sideline. And I just don't know, unless that guy had been burning them all day and the other guy asked for help, Terry, why he would be caring about the middle of the field on that play.
How was it? Tagovailoa said, I kept looking him off, and then when I saw him and he didn't look, and he was watching me over the middle,
maybe he was thinking reading the freshman quarterback.
And to me, that's a true freshman outdoing a senior Sanders, a safety, just really outthinking him.
And I'll say this.
And he's left-handed too.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's his strong side. So him looking him off, maybe I don't know. There had to be – he had to – as playing both the corner and the safety position, he had to have seen something or felt something for him to take that step forward to make him think that. And whether it's him looking him off or that he's left-handed and that switched up strong side, weak side to the safety, that switches up your eyes too. Like, I've been looking at this side all game. Then now I'm thinking this side, and it's a different corner. I don't know.
But my problem is, how many times do we say conservative when you have a lead? You get conservative. How many times does that result in a loss? It results in a loss a lot of times. Yeah. And honestly, I know Kirby Smart's still pretty new to being a head coach. This is only his second year, and he overachieved this year, if we're being honest. But how do you not give the ball to Sony Michel, not even let him touch it in the fourth quarter? I mean, he's the first running back I've seen in a good long while to actually have big plays against Alabama. Because he has more speed than Nick Chubb, who's more of a pounder, running up the middle, and you don't even give him the ball in the fourth quarter or overtime. I mean, that just baffles me how you do that when he was carving up Alabama throughout most of the game.
On Saturday and Sunday in the NFL, Todd Gurley was second in the NFL in rushing. Mm-hmm. He had 14 carries and lost.
Yeah, think of that.
Kareem Hunt was first in the NFL in rushing, Terry, with a 20-point lead in a playoff game, had 11 carries.
Against a team that was going to fire their head coach.
11 carries and the leading rusher in the NFL. And then Georgia, Michelle, who ran all over everybody and their brother the week before, they don't feed the ball in the fourth quarter.
The problem is, people get on the Kyle Shanahan.
Run the ball, coach, when you got the lead, right?
People get on the Kyle Shanahan for blowing that Super Bowl, being big part of the reason the Falcons blew that Super Bowl lead. But honestly, I'd rather be more aggressive than be too conservative.
It's not the point of like trying to score, Smoke.
Mm-hmm, right.
It's the point when you got the lead. If you're aggressive and stop the clock twice and 3 times, every time you stop the clock, that gives the other team 25 extra seconds to score.
Right, yeah.
So let's say you throw an incomplete pass at any point, or in 40 seconds in the NFL, or it's 40 seconds college now, you stop the clock for 40 seconds. So, and you look on the scoreboard and a guy kicks a field goal with 3 seconds on the clock, and then you go back and say, maybe I shouldn't have thrown it on 3rd and 17.
Right,
I should have ran it one time
and
ran the 40
it's
seconds.
like that, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's what the difference is. Not that you conservative, aggressive. Yeah, you still got to make. It's not like you're going fullback dive. Here.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying go straight up aggressive.
Short passes. Stay in bounds. Run the clock. Don't throw stupid plays. I'd rather you take a sack in that, and then we can throw a screen or a run or a slant or something like that. But these coaches, they're throwing it deep and they're getting too fancy. A point I saw this weekend, real quick, before we get moved to the next break, it's time for break. Jim Schwartz has been interviewing, defense coordinator for
Eagles and
the
former
Eagles,
Lions head coach.
has been interviewing for head coaching jobs. He does not blitz much. Will he blitz a lot this weekend trying to show off for his new bosses? Big question coming up. That's another thing, how do coaches coach in these situations? Do they change what they do? All right, Kirby Smart being a former Nick Saban, that had to cause all kinds of head games for that team. Does he know what I want to do? Do I want to do this in the first half?
It looked like Kirby knew what he was.
Exactly.
Yeah, he did.
He did. All right, JP.
12-0.
We'll be back in just a few minutes on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Looking for the best deal on a new RV? Join Campers Inn of Kings Mountain at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th through 21st at the Park Expo and Conference Center. We're offering incredible savings on top brands of motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels like Coachman, Columbus, Stryker, Puma, and more. Start the new year off with a bang by finding your dream RV. Don't miss out. These deals are only available at the show. Visit Campers Inn RV, the RVer's trusted resource, at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th to 21st. Go online at campersinn.com.
Every morning is different for everybody. Nate gets up for the early shift, while Brad is just getting home from the night shift. Pam runs a PR and a 5K, while Drew runs late to work. Beth proposes a road trip to her boyfriend, while Mark proposes to his girlfriend. Luckily, there's a McDonald's for every morning.
Start your morning with a rich, smooth, and freshly brewed McCafe coffee. And now, get any size for just $1 at McDonald's. Limited time offer. Price of participation may vary. A la carte only.
Country Gold with Terry Clark.
I'm Terry Clark, inviting you to join me this week for Country Gold, where we play all your favorites from the 80s and 90s.
Country Go with Terry Clark, Thursday afternoons 1 to 5 on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
The winter rates and hours are now in effect at the Deerbrook Golf Course on Highway 180 North in Shelby. Play and ride Monday through Friday for just $33, or after 12 p.m. for just $28. Play and ride weekends for $42, or afternoons for $35. Seniors, you can play and ride Monday through Friday for just $28. Call for your tee time at 704-482-4653 or visit their website at DeerbrookGolfClub.com. The Deerbrook Golf Club, the friendly golf club.
Who do you call for that leaky roof or new roof needed? Creason Roofing and Repair of Cherryville. Their motto, see the reasons while we're the best. Creason Roofing and Repair, fully licensed and insured. Creason Roofing and Repair is dedicated to customer service and complete satisfaction. Always free estimates. Phone 704-435-1791. 24/7 commercial and residential roofing. Creason Roofing and Repair, Cherryville.
No more carefree hours. No more doing whatever you want, whenever you want. No more peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes. Hey, welcome back. Cameras in Saturday Sports Talk. Talking a little fun college football action there, right there, off the break. Terry, let's get to the NFL action before you got to go. Terry, you got to go quick. Let's talk about last weekend's games a little bit and kind of sum that up before you get out of here. Then me and Smoke can do some previews, and you can give us your picks, and we'll talk NBA while you go. Terry's got to go refereeing this morning. Umpire.
Or ruin a kid's day.
Is that what it's called? As far as the last few games I've seen, the coaches hadn't been happy with the referees, Terry. I don't know what y'all are doing over there. All right, last weekend, Rams fall. Who all predicted that? Not me. Let's see. The Jaguars win over the Bills. Titans over the Chiefs. Falcons over the Rams, and Saints over the Panthers. Usually in both rounds, on percentage-wise, there's always one upset and one blowout. And so, going into Sunday late night game, there wasn't any blowouts yet and I was like, and then Ted Ginn goes deep, Smoke, and
yeah, it was looking like
and
that.
I look at Andre and I'm like, well, here's your blowout. It's about to happen, and Carolina made a good comeback. We'll talk about that in just a second, but first let's talk about wild card weekend, the other games. Let me get to them. The Rams falling to Atlanta.
26-13.
Is that just total inexperience, or is that?
I think it's first game jitters for a coach. I think it's first game jitters that the Rams are back in the playoffs, and I think it's you playing a leadership team of Atlanta that's been there before and done that.
Well, and also this Atlanta Falcons defense has gotten much better over the last year.
Same way it did last year.
And they're, the thing that separates the Falcons defense from a lot of other defenses is they're extremely athletic. And Dan Quinn's done a tremendous job of building that defense up, getting guys like Deion Jones, Keanu O'Neal. I mean, he's done a great job of just a short amount of time with him building that defense up. Look what it was the last year of Mike Smith to what it is now. It is night and day. Complete difference, and a lot of that credit has to go to Dan Quinn as the head coach. Brought in that philosophy from Seattle, and it's now starting to show. And I mean, they could be in for the long haul with that defense.
Well, it's like Kevin said a minute ago. I mean, Gurley touches the ball 14 times.
14.
So you've changed the way you've played all
he
year.
He had 101 yards on 14
That's
carries.
what I'm saying. You have changed the way you played all year on account of you making the first round of playoffs. Was this on account of you got behind? Maybe so, but do you change your game plan totally? I mean, you should not. This is what got you here.
Mm-hmm. And Jared Goff looked like he was, a first time being in the playoffs. And, still, the Rams, nothing to be ashamed about.
No.
You completely turned yourselves around from what would look like you were hopeless at this point last year. It was the intentional grounding. Well, I don't really know. It's such a 50-50 play. The other officials said it wasn't, but the head official overruled them. So that's what it is. And then third down, threw the ball to Devin Funchess. Funchess said he lost it in the lights. People were getting mad at Funchess, but I'm like, he's playing with such a banged up shoulder. They're basically having to. I've heard they've been having to get his pads off the game after because he can't take his shoulder pads off by himself. Then fourth down, Ryan Khalil had missed on Von Bell's blitz, and but it's just honestly, I think it's better that Carolina lost this game, to regroup, because I never thought this was a Super Bowl team, especially with all the deficiencies at wide receiver. But honestly, that's one of the best games I've seen Cam play, even in a losing effort.
Is that all you got, Terry?
Smoke put it straight. I mean, I thought I was very impressed that Carolina was still in the game with an opportunity to win at the end, because New Orleans had really controlled them the other two games that they had played each other. And for Carolina to be in there and have a chance, they come up short. But
well, look at this stat. This is not what Carolina wanted. Cam 8 carries, 40 pass attempts. They played right into what New Orleans wanted. They would rather Cam sit there and throw the ball 40 times and get 300 yards passing. And of course, they were hoping for a pick in that, and they didn't get the pick they wanted. But looking at his QBR, at what made it stood out, you see his pass rating at 105. They set back and let him do that because look at his QBR. Average QBR is about 80, 81, 82. Cam had a below average QBR, which it takes into account the rushing. So look at his carries. 8 carries, 37 yards. He led the team this year in rushing. Is
this another thing for me, Smoke, asking you? They did what Denver did. Cam, you're gonna have to beat us.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at.
And they
both did the same thing to each other. They both look at the rushing. There's no rushing in this game. Both teams decided we're going to try to take your guys' rushing game around, and this is going to be a passing contest. And New Orleans
we think our quarterback better than yours.
And that's exactly, both teams did the same thing, and it turned out close game, divisional game, 3 times in a season. If you play 3 times in a season, it means both teams are good. It means both teams probably got good defenses. And Dallas lost 3 times to Philadelphia that one time. Sometimes teams are just better than you, and you know it going in, and you're just you're in Smoke. You guys got some adjusting to do here and there. You got to make some decisions. You're going to cut Jonathan Stewart. Who are you going to bring? Who's going to be the backup to Cam next year? Are you the number 1 wide receiver? Is Funchess considered a 1? In this game, Funchess had Olsen 12 targets, McCaffrey 8, then Funchess of 8. So
you got a lot of questions because the defensive line is pretty old. Charles Johnson's gone as Terry's leaving.
Terry, give you final scores real quick.
I already did. You go.
Well, you can read them. What are you scared of? Gosh, man, he's scared. He's scared I'm gonna pick on his final scores.
It's just there's a lot of questions, and not only we haven't even addressed the big elephant in the room with the biggest question for Carolina this offseason: who's going to be the new owner? I mean, it's just this is going to be the most interesting offseason of the Carolina's history, her and Carolina sports history. I mean, and we've
what are the sure things that you know?
Well,
Cam Newton will be back.
Yeah. Luke Kuechly will be back.
Kuechly will be back.
Ron Rivera will be back.
Ron, the whole Turner family will be coaching the offense. Smoke. I don't know how you. I don't think you like that at all.
No, it's see, Mike Shula, he had his faults, but I thought he was pretty good. And honestly, at best, this is a lateral move because there's some similar offenses, but Mike Shula had some more college implements in it. And he didn't use the Coriel stuff as much in his offensive schemes. The main problem I have is you're going to ask Cam Newton to drop back 7 steps with Matt Khalil as a left tackle and Darrell Williams as right tackle. And we already saw Matt Khalil in Norv Turner's system when he was in Minnesota, and it went horrendous.
What's their? Can they cut him? Or is it just way too much money?
They got a 4-day window next year that they can cut them after next year. So they wrote that in, but it's got to be between March 14th and March 18th.
Well, here's the thing with the Cam situation is that they needed to make a decision, I guess, and Ron did, if they were going to move on, what kind of move he was going to make to where do they want Cam to learn to make the natural progression to the pocket passer like Randall Cunningham eventually did. And that's where I see Cam's eventuality is if he can get to where Randall was, where he will stand in the pocket and step up in the pocket. Once Randall learned how to do that, he had Randy Moss and Chris Carter and those guys.
That doesn't hurt.
At the end, and when he moved to Dallas, he could still throw it. He played in Dallas a little bit, but Randall was an excellent he may have been the best athlete we've seen play quarterback. Cam's bigger than him physically. Randall, he was nasty. Well, hold on. Let me finish the thought on this.
Okay.
With the Norv Turner, they had to make a decision whether they want to go with a college offense, keep doing what they're doing, keep banging your $20 million quarterback into these linebackers, or try to eventually develop him because at some time your running is over with. Steve Young quit running. Everybody quit running at some point. Michael Vick's the only person I've ever seen that just kept running no matter what. Him and Joe Webb.
Joe Webb's still running.
Joe Webb should play. If he was the backup why don't he just go to Jacksonville and they just rotate?
That'd be more fun.
Wouldn't that be about?
That'd be more fun to watching Blake Bortles.
But anyway, back to what I was saying about that. But they had to make a decision what they're going to do. So they've decided they're going to try to put Cam in more pocket situations, more pocket-friendly situations. With that said, they've got to get they got to figure out some receiving. They got to get on the same page with the receiver where he can throw some comeback routes, something that he can couple of go-to routes. And as far as the running game goes, they got to decide if they're going to keep Stewart. What they're going to do with McCaffrey's going to give him more carries, just keep him doing what they're doing with him now as well.
This is the biggest positive with Norv Turner coming in is a guy like McCaffrey usually thrives in Norv Turner's system. I mean, look at Darian Sproles. His career is built off of being in Norv Turner's system, and Norv really schemes well for guys like Christian McCaffrey. It's just the frustration with Norv Turner as well is there's so many great offensive minds in the NFL currently. I mean, you look at all those guys that Andy Reid has coached in Kansas City. You look at John DeFilippo, the quarterback's coach from Philadelphia. I mean, it's just so many offensive minds you go to, and you go to the old 65-year-old who last time he was an offensive coordinator quit because he didn't want to change his ways in Minnesota. I mean, that's really how I look at it. You got a guy who was really good in the 90s, never really had it worked out as a head coach, and his last 2 offensive coordinator stints have not gone well, including Cleveland, where he said, I'm going to run Trent Richardson 300 times.
Well, here's the new report, Smoke, comes out during our show about Cam Newton. Now they're saying the Panthers are claiming that he had hurt his knee, and that's why he was going down to the ground. That's their excuse. Is CYA? Are they trying to cover their tracks?
Well, honestly,
say that his knee was hurt?
The first one is completely believable because they were saying, he fell down. Well, usually you've seen it too in high school football. They don't want to burn a timeout, and they maybe want to get their quarterback Derek Anderson warmed up. They'll say, hey, don't go down so we can get an injury timeout. That's probably what happened. I don't know. It's just crazy how this,
My only question is, was Cam just doing the worst acting job of all time. Because usually when you don't go down face first on the ground. You know what I mean? Usually when people go down, they just go down their knee or just sit down on their butt. Or it's kind of, everybody sees what's going on. Like, hey, just go down, and the guy goes down. Nobody ever goes. That's weird how he went down. And I'm not saying what he was doing or what he was hurt, but now that the Panthers are claiming almost a week later that his knee was hurt, and that's why he was going down.
I don't know.
It says they gave him an MRI, but it came back negative on Monday.
It's just Carolina could have to pay a fine, but honestly, this is the NFL's problem.
Jerry Richards trying to save every dollar he can, isn't he, right now?
$150,000. Gee,
he's trying to save every. Well, Smoke, when your legal costs are building up, every $150,000 you can save.
Well, it's just the NFL can't even get a thing right with Tom Savage having a seizure on the field after getting hit, and he gets back into the game. So you're telling me Carolina should get fined, but I mean, I don't. There's no rules, it seems like. They can't follow their own rules, and they say taking concussions seriously, but then they don't. Especially, and this is one of their star players, and they don't. So
their rules are very inconsistent. The rules are inconsistent with which quarterbacks they protect. Their rules are inconsistent with, what's pass interference, what's holding, what's a catch, what's not a catch. Yeah. I mean, that when they switched these rules to protect the quarterbacks, they made the rule that you can't touch the quarterback's head no matter what, right? Mm-hmm. I probably saw 15 to 25 times Romo got hit in the head in some form or another. They did not throw the flag. And then other quarterbacks like Brady or whatever, if they got pinkies on their helmets, the flags came flying.
Well, the rule was because of Brady, because he got that ACL injury back in 2008 being hit below the knees. But
Carson Palmer was before that.
Yeah, well, when you're Tom Brady, things are different.
Thomas Davis announced his retirement. It's going to be after this year.
Yeah.
Get his dirty butt out of the league. Maybe he can quit hitting quarterback strong. Right, Smoke? I got 2 pictures of Thomas Davis hurting Aaron Rodgers and Tony Romo.
It's, say
goodbye to a Panther.
As he's been such a great player and it's overcome a lot with his ACL injuries.
Yes.
I mean, it's just been amazing to watch him play football. It's definitely going to be different after next year.
Let me ask you something. If you know you're ready to retire coming into a year, how much confident are you in your game in general, and how much actual, you know what I mean?
He slowed down this last.
That's
2
what
years,
I'm trying to ask about. Like, what's showing up on film? Because other people aren't going to be looking at, hey, this is Thomas, let's pat him on the back.
Mm-hmm.
In that film room, is he a detriment to that passing defense?
I don't think so with the way he's been playing. He's still been pretty darn good out there. It's just, they eventually have to get Shaq to replace him. And, Shaq Thompson is very capable of replacing Thomas Davis. He's still incredibly young. I think he's only 23, 24, and he doesn't have that much mileage on him for an NFL guy that's been going into his 4th year, considering all the stuff that's going on. So Carolina's already got the replacement for Thomas Davis. This upcoming year, they're going to have to ease him out, and I think that's what's going to happen. And I have bigger questions in terms of what they're going to do with the defensive end. That they better hope Peppers returns for one more year, or they're going to be in some big trouble, because all they have is this and then a bunch of rotational guys. They got to draft someone real early that's a defensive end this year.
Sounds like the Panthers have a lot of questions this offseason. So.
They do.
And you usually don't hear that from an 11-5
No, you do not.
football team. All right, real quick, time to take a break. JP, you ready to take a break? I know we went way over there, boss. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to finish up our predictions for this weekend. Terry's got his predictions, Smoke. He's got one upset. One upset. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Looking for the best deal on a new RV? Join Campers Inn of Kings Mountain at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th through 21st at the Park Expo and Conference Center. We're offering incredible savings on top brands of motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels like Coachman, Columbus, Stryker, Puma, and more. Start the new year off with a bang by finding your dream RV. Don't miss out. These deals are only available at the Visit Campers Inn RV, the RVer's trusted resource, at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th to 21st. Go online at campersinn.com.
KC champion of Kings Mountain is this month's McDonald's WOHS What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete of the Month. KC is the son of Kevin and Cammie Champion. KC plays first base on the Kings Mountain Mountaineer baseball team and has a grade point average of 4.875. His advanced courses include AP U.S. Government, AP Psychology, AP Comparative Government, AP English, and AP English Literature. He is a member of the First Baptist Church of Kings Mountain and is involved in the Murphy's Fund and Shriners Barbecue. After graduation, KC plans to attend the U.S. Air Force Academy or UNC Wilmington. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting What's Up Shopper Scholar Athlete is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievements in the classroom and overall school and community citizenship.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. It's time to play at the Kings Mountain Country Club. Play and ride on the new cart paths. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $28. Seniors 55 and older can ride and play 18 holes Monday through Friday for just $24. Play and ride 18 holes on weekends for just $37. For tee times, call 704-739-5871 for the Kings Mountain Country Club, located on 109 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain.
The new year brings new big savings from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby. Get up to $9,000 in total value on the new 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with SLT Premium Plus package. Plus drive away in a new 2017 Buick Envision. Now it's $7,500 below MSRP. And the new 2018 Kia Stinger has arrived at only $9 per month for a 36-month lease. And get the 2018 Honda Fit for $169 a month for 36 months. See Ronaldo for all the details. Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at RenatoAutomall.com. Looking for the best deal on a new RV? Join Campers Inn of Kings Mountain at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th through 21st at the Park Expo and Conference Center. We're offering incredible savings on top brands of motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels like Coachman, Columbus, Stryker, Puma, and more. Start the new year off with a bang by finding your dream RV. Don't miss out. These deals are only available at the show. Visit Campers Inn RV, the RVer's trusted resource, at the Charlotte RV Show, January 19th to 21st. Go online at campersinn.com. Today, more and more people are shopping and getting their information online. Here at KTC Broadcasting, we're making our websites easier for you to find out what you're looking for. At KTCBroadcasting.com, you can listen to all 3 of our radio stations, plus watch live video of high school sports, American Legion Baseball, Christmas parades, and other special events. At WhatsUpShopper.com, you'll find all kinds of deals from our local merchants. Shop our eBay store, plus swap shop items, along with community and church events and our local news. And at LincolnCounty.com, you'll find all the information you need concerning Lincoln County. From local businesses to government to school information, even today's local weather forecast. So click on and enjoy. That's KTCBroadcasting.com, the WhatsUpShopper.com, and LincolnCounty.com. The future is today.
The winter rates and hours are now in effect at the Deerbrook Golf Course on Highway 180 North in Shelby. Play and ride Monday through Friday for just $33, or after 12 p.m. for just $28. Play and ride weekends for $42, or afternoons for $35. Seniors, you can play and ride Monday through Friday for just $28. Call for your tee time at 704-482-4653, or visit their website at DeerbrookGolfClub.com. The Deerbrook Golf Club, the friendly golf club.
Every morning is different for everybody. Nate gets up for the early shift, while Brad is just getting home from the night shift. Pam runs a PR and a 5K, while Drew runs late to work. Beth proposes a road trip to her boyfriend, while Mark proposes to his girlfriend. Luckily, there's a McDonald's for every morning.
Start your morning with a rich, smooth, and freshly brewed McCafe coffee. And now, get any size for just $1 at McDonald's. Limited time offer. Price of participation may vary. A la carte only.
DNS Travel Tours in Gastonia is hosting 2 big travel shows. Thursday, January 18th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Clock Restaurant on Highway 74 East in Shelby. And Saturday, January 20th, 10 until 3 at the First Free Will Baptist Church, Union Road in Gastonia. Come by and pick up your free 2018 tour catalog. Register to win.
I work with Looney Tunes.
Smoke, do you know that's the theme too?
Looney Tunes.
Wrong.
Actually, he's right.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. I'm looking at the screen. It says Looney Tunes.
First of all, JP, I know you're a millennial. You can't believe everything you read on the internet. Number two, this is Campers Inn of Kings Mountain Sports Talk. Get it right. All right, well, welcome back to Sports Talk. Saturday, let's talk a little NFL playoffs. Terry's got his predictions in. Me and Smoke was working on our predictions just now as we head into this week's game. First off, Atlanta at Philadelphia. We talked a little bit about that earlier. Terry's got Atlanta. Smoke, who you got?
Atlanta 20-13.
I've got Atlanta 2 as well. Smoke's got 13. Terry's got 24-20. I had even wrote down my name next to Philadelphia, but I picked Atlanta, and only for one reason. I'm trolling Smoke right now. We'll get to that in just a moment. Tennessee at New England. Terry's got New England 35-17.
New England 35-10.
You're not going to believe this, but all four of these games this weekend, I would not be surprised if any of them was an upset. Usually going into the weekends, there's always one blowout, one upset in these first two weekends. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if all of them were upsets or all of them were. Any team I think can win this weekend, even including Tennessee, because New England has been awful the last 4 weeks. Got a bye, and New England's offense, as far as Brady and them, has not been great. And they're playing a team that's been playing. They know what they're doing as far as, week in, week out. I know New England knows what they're doing. I mean that, but Tennessee knows what they've been doing, the past couple weeks. Trying to get it routine-wise is what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, Tennessee, if they upset them, wouldn't be surprising, but I'm still picking New England. We've all got New England. Smoke, you got a blowout close? What you thinking? Blowout for Smoke, too?
Yeah.
All right. Then this one, Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. Smoke, what you got?
I really wish they still had Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Jr. in the backfield. It'd be an entertaining game. 28.
Well, I don't know if they're good as this Jaguars rushing attack. This Jaguars rushing attack's leading the NFL in rushing. 144 yards a game.
I think that's pretty skewed, if you ask me.
What do you mean skewed?
Leonard Fournette has not been good the second half of the year, and they've actually been better without him on the field. I'd take Pittsburgh 28-10.
I got Jacksonville the upset, Smoke. Pittsburgh's going to choke one of these games away, whether it's next week or
it's next week.
They've got Bell complaining about money, Brown complaining about money, Ben talk about retirement. They threw 5 picks against this Jaguars last time. This Jaguars defense wants to beat them so bad that I think, and then everybody wants to talk about how bad, we did a minute ago to Smoke, how bad Jacksonville's offense is, and Jacksonville's offense is scoring more points a game than Pittsburgh is this year. When you look at all that, I think it's almost choke time for Pittsburgh. I think I've picked Pittsburgh to win Super Bowl the last 5 years, and they haven't done it. This year I'm going to pick against them, and they'll probably make the run. So I'm going to pick Jacksonville the upset. I got Jacksonville, New England next weekend, and New England with another cakewalk to the Super Bowl. So it's like LeBron in the East and Brady in the AFC. They don't have to play anybody. They might have to play one round a year before they even get to the Super Bowl. It's just New Orleans at Minnesota.
See, this is the most interesting game to me this weekend.
Terry's got Vikings 27-21. Of course, I've got Saints going all the way to the Super Bowl and winning the Joker, so I've got to stay with my Saints on this one.
Let's see. Carolina did a great job of shutting down the rush defense last week, and Minnesota has a much better defense. It's at Minnesota. Both teams are dome teams, so they don't have to worry about weather. And honestly, if things work out for New Orleans' favor, they can go the whole rest away playing only in domes.
How about Minnesota can play every game at home?
Yeah, I know that just would be ridiculous. We're honestly just I think the closest we've ever been, and maybe since one of those '90s Miami's teams with Dan Marino, that we've seen a team that's hosting the Super Bowl possibly get into the Super Bowl. But I say Vikings 24-21.
All right, Smoke's got another close one. Like I said, I've got New Orleans in that. So if our picks go right, I will have Smoke and Terry will both have Atlanta in Minnesota next week. We all picked Atlanta, so that means Philadelphia's definitely winning, I would imagine. Right, ain't that how that usually goes? We're all picking. Remember this, Smoke, before we come back in next Saturday, that this is the only number one seed in NFL history that's been the underdog.
Yeah.
And all three of us just picked against them, too.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So the odds are Philadelphia's going to win by 20, and Atlanta's going to. Well, Falcons got a Falcon sometime, Smoke, don't they?
I don't know. I think they might recover. I don't know.
You think they're going to win the Super Bowl?
If they play the Patriots, I think they do.
Smoke's scared.
I think they do. I mean, heck, the Patriots defense isn't as good. They freaking should have beat the Patriots last year. I mean, and it would not make sense, even though they've regressed with Sarkisian as their offensive coordinator. So, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty unpredictable. The NFC is really unpredictable. AFC, it's between Pittsburgh and New England. It's just a matter if New England blows it or not.
What y'all going to do next week when it's Jacksonville and Tennessee? What are we going to do when Jacksonville and Minnesota play each other in the Super Bowl? And it's 5-2.
Yeah, I think Keenum's better than that.
5-2. Keenum's better than that. They picked off Big Ben 5 times. How do you think Keenum's going to throw?
We'll see a lot of quarterbacks running because Keenum can run pretty well. I mean,
all right, looking at Smoke's matchups. Smoke and Terry got the same matchups next week, and I've got different ones in both of them. So we'll see how that works out.
Well, one of us is going to be right, I guess.
You guys are both going, I would say, chalk as far as the odds go. Y'all both got Atlanta, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and New England.
Mm-hmm.
I've picked 2 upsets, actually. Usually there's just one, so I'm probably not going to get the Jacksonville, but who knows? You never know. You got to go on a limb.
I mean, they upset them 10 years ago, but that was different.
Well, yeah. I mean, upsets happen. I mean, I never thought that, we talked about it a couple weeks ago about I didn't think Troy Aikman and them were going to get beaten by Kerry Collins. I did not think that was going to happen. Atlanta.
I've watched that game. Kerry didn't have to do that much.
Atlanta and New Orleans. No, Troy did a good job throwing it to the other team. Atlanta and New Orleans is who I've got, and Jacksonville, New England, and then I've got New Orleans, New England in the Super Bowl with the Saints winning. Now, if that happens, Smoke, are Panthers fans going to be able to okay if Atlanta and New Orleans play each other in the NFC Championship game?
I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it.
Who do fans pull for when the Falcons and Panthers play each other?
Depends on which Braves fan you ask.
Which side of the South Carolina state, the Georgia line you're on?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the Saints, they got to have to go all out because you don't know if Drew Brees is coming back. You think he comes back, but you don't know because he's on his last year of his deal right now, and he's getting up there in age. This could be your last realistic shot. You never know. So Saints are probably going to try to go all out. Falcons have a better defense, but
Falcons on a mission.
Falcons are on a mission, and I mean they still got all the offensive weapons they had last year. It's just they're under. I don't know. They just don't seem the same, but they still have everything there to win, and their defense has improved. The Saints' defense is not there yet all the way around, but it's definitely gotten better. Cameron Jordan's been one of the best edge rushers in the league the past 5 years, and then you got all-pro corner already in Marshawn Lattimore. It's probably what's going to be next week, and